The final revelation, betrayal in the shadows.
Henri returned to Paris with a heavy heart. What he had discovered in Rome was greater than anything he could have imagined. The ancient alliance between the power of the Church, the Roman emperors, and the French elites was behind every conspiracy, every execution, every secret. But now he knew, these ancient pacts weren't just forgotten legends, they were still active, moving the pieces of history like invisible shadows. And these pacts were about to be challenged. When he arrived in the city, Paris felt different. The streets were darker, the air heavier. It was as if the veil that covered the mysteries of the revolution was starting to tear. Something was about to happen, and Henri knew he didn't have much time. The spirits of the revolutionary figures were growing more violent, possessing bodies with terrifying intensity, spreading chaos and fear. They wanted more than justice, they wanted to destroy the very foundations on which France's power had been built. The latest possession led him to the heart of power. The Cathedral of Notre-Dame, a symbol of faith and strength, had become the stage for an event that would shake the nation's destiny. The victim? Jacques, a prominent French politician and heir to one of the most powerful dynasties in the country, whose bloodline traced back to the kings of France and the conspiracies of the Revolution. When Henri entered the cathedral, the scene was terrifying. Jacques, usually composed and resolute, was hunched over the altar, muttering in an ancient language no one could recognize, but Henri knew it to be Latin, the Latin of Rome's pagan rituals. As he approached, Jacques lifted his head, but the eyes that stared back at him weren't his own. Henri immediately recognized the presence. It was Robespierre, the man who had once ruled Paris during the Reign of Terror. "You, priest, think you can save us?" "There is no salvation for traitors," the deep, icy voice shouted. "They sold us out. Sold the revolution, the people, for power. The pact they made, priest, was the beginning of the end. And now they will pay." Robespierre, speaking through Jacques, began to reveal a devastating truth. During the darkest days of the revolution, when fear ruled the streets and the guillotine claimed lives without pause, the most powerful figures in Paris, both revolutionaries and monarchists, had made a pact. A dark deal, sealed in blood, ensuring that power would remain in their hands, no matter who ruled. The revolution, which was supposed to liberate the people, had been a sham, manipulated from the start by those who craved power and control. Henri, holding his crucifix, tried to begin the ritual, but the revelations kept pouring from Jacques' mouth. This pact didn't end with the fall of the monarchy. No, priest. It continues to this day, behind the scenes, controlling every decision, every government. The serpent is still here, coiled within the most powerful families, the corporations, even the church you serve. The cathedral seemed to pulse with dark energy as Robespierre spoke of how this pact had been preserved through generations, passed down from father to son, in secret. The spirits of the revolution, those who had been betrayed and executed, were now trying to break this cycle, to unearth the truth and expose the lies that had upheld power for centuries. Henri finally began to pray, trying to exorcise the spirit, but Robespierre wouldn't relent. He continued. "They never paid for their crimes, priest. But now, we will bring justice. The heads that should have fallen will roll again. The serpent will be decapitated." And it was at that moment that the final truth emerged. Jacques' family, heirs to the power of France, hadn't just participated in this dark pact, they had played a crucial role in the sacrifice of the revolutionaries. Every famous execution, every shocking death, had been an exchange. The blood spilled at the guillotine wasn't just a political consequence, it was part of an ongoing ritual, an offering to the ancient gods who controlled the nation's destiny. Henri fell to his knees, feeling the weight of this revelation. he now realized he wasn't just fighting vengeful spirits, but a much older evil, coursing through the veins of France's most powerful families like a silent poison. Jacques, or what was left of him, writhed on the floor as Robespierre screamed. "You never escaped. Your sins come back to haunt you. And the revolution you thought was dead will rise from the ashes stronger than ever." With one final gasp, Henri managed to complete the exorcism, and Jacques' body collapsed, lifeless, on the cathedral floor. But the atmosphere in Notre-Dame remained heavy, as if the building itself was aware of the dark truths that had been revealed within its walls. Henri, exhausted and shaken, knew that what had started as a possession case was, in fact, the unearthing of a deeply rooted evil in France's history. And now, even with the spirits seemingly calm, the real battle was only just beginning. The secrets could no longer be ignored, and the ancient pact, forged in blood and darkness, was finally starting to crumble before his eyes. But the cost of this revelation could be the total destruction of Paris itself, and perhaps all of France.